to stop what is going on. No plan. And we all see it. So my argument is that we have seen Trump, go to different countries. And I don't know whether my judgment is not okay, but I've not seen that so much vested interest in people's resources than solving problems in those countries as much as he thinks is right. Let me give an example. What was his interest in what he did in Iran and in Palestine? What was the interest? The interest is basically to preserve Israel. Is that a good interest? Yes. For those of us who think Israel has a right to live. Now, if his interest in Nigeria is to save lives, how is that not a good interest? Even if some other things will come with it. Why are we protecting what we don't even have? What do we have to protect? That's my question. Now, I'm going to go to my submission briefly.
No, you need to round up. You have 1 minute to round up. We have too many requests.
Steve, okay, let me try and give my... So now, the first point I want to make is that I've listened to this conversation, and I think we are coming close to getting our problem solved. Why do I say that? Because we are bold enough to now identify what the problem is and who are responsible for the problem we are having in Nigeria. Because if I think back in the last maybe 2 years, I don't think any Nigeria will come on an open space and say, Fulani people are responsible for what is going on in Nigeria. If you had said this 3, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, people would say, oh no, there are good Fulanis. And the truth is that there are good Fulanis. But we shied away from identifying who are responsible. And we know the historical context. We know how this thing has, gone for centuries. We know the history. Yet we pretended we didn't know and all that. But now that we are bold enough to mention it, I think we are close to solving our problems. And let me add that someone was talking about dividing Nigeria, not dividing Nigeria. The truth is that if what is going on in Nigeria continues for the next few years, we will come to a point that people will come, almost everybody will agree Nigeria needs to divide. But my problem personally will be what is going to be the fate of some minorities, especially those of them close to the north. That is my own concern. Because I find out that the people that actually want Nigeria not to divide so much are the people that are actually doing everything to destroy Nigeria. Because Nigeria is not working the way they want. This is an argument I've made over the years. The people that want Nigeria so much to be one are the people doing everything to destroy Nigeria because Nigeria is not working the way they think Nigeria should work. I've made that argument over and over again. My last point will be for our international friends, for the US, anybody listening, the vehement opposition you have today against coming to take out criminals in our country, the leading voices are those who are actually involved in one way or the other in what is going on in Nigeria today. The difference is that there are very few of them. There are very few of them. Go to the internet and check the population of these Fulani in Nigeria. Because they have stronghold of power and they have put over. In fact, no media house in Nigeria can hear them, report anything that is against them. They can only amplify the voices of these people that are opposing the coming of Trump. So when you hear so much noise coming from Nigeria opposing this, these are not it's not coming from 90% of Nigerians. It's coming from about 5% of Nigerians, or whether they're foreigners or Nigerians, I don't know. They are the ones that are vehemently opposing this because they know that if Trump comes in and this problem is solved, their mission is over in Nigeria. Their mission is over in Nigeria. People like Tinubu are just they're just there because they will have to work with these guys to keep their political position. That's why somebody like Tinubu pretends he doesn't know what to do or how to use the power he has as the president to solve this problem in Nigeria. Just like many people have echoed today, this is the situation in Nigeria. And let anybody not think that Nigerians are opposed to any meaningful foreign intervention that will save and stop villages, people being killed in hundreds, sacked. The killers go take over the land, rename the land, and occupy it. And nothing happens. These voices, amplified by the media that they control, are the ones responsible for what is going on in Nigeria. Let me keep it here for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very, very powerful, well laid out, um, broad comments. And the challenge we are having is that on the issue of division of our country, you walk into waters that will bring up for and against. And our legal mind that is on the platform here, Barrister Nebe, he has laid out for us what our constitution says. He's talking from a legal point of view. And I know so many people want to ask that question. I would like to go back there because it's a very important conversation to have now that we have Emibe on the platform. So thank you all for joining the conversation. We are talking about Nigerian Christian genocide. Is it real? And we want to thank Nelson for making his platform available for us to do this. On December 1st, 2025, on Monday, Nigerians in America and well-meaning Christians and non alike that are concerned about the Christian genocide in Nigeria will be gathering in Washington, D.C. on December 1st, 2025. So if you are listening to me and you live in America, join that rally at 11 a.m. at the Capitol Hill, just the Congress building there on the field. We will be going there to rally support for congressional action to hold those that sponsor the genocide in Nigeria to account, no matter how highly placed they may be. We believe in the unity and prosperity of Nigeria. We don't believe in division. We don't believe in prejudice of any kind. What we want to do is to end the Christian genocide that is undisputable and return the estimated 11 million IDPs back to their communities with compensation, reconstruction of their churches, their homes, and funds to restart their farms. Nigerians are in Niger, Niger, Chad, Cameroon, and Benin Republic. Nigerians are scattered all over the country in makeshift camps, estimated 11 million, mostly women and children, because their husbands have been killed by the radical Islamic Fulani jihadist group. That is what we are exposing. The media has continued to lie, but today we are speaking the truth, and the United States is aware of what is happening. One of our keynote speakers at the rally in DC will be Mike Arnold. Mike Arnold became very famous because he went to Nigeria on the invitation of the NSA, Nuhu Ribadu, and Reno Mokri to come and do a fact-finding mission. And Michael Arnold, a Texas former mayor of Blanco, Texas, he asked them very clearly before he flew to Nigeria, what do you want me to do? He said, come and tell the truth. Unbeknownst to the NSA and to Reno Mokri, that Mike Arnold has been going to Nigeria for years, going to IDP camps, documenting stories. He knew what was going on, but Reno Mokri did not know. He wanted to do a propaganda with him, thinking he would come and toe the line of climate change. But now, I'm sure you guys must have seen the report of Michael Arnold that is now public. And he said, in summary, and I quote, there is a systematic government-backed genocide against Nigerian Christians in Nigeria. And he has documented evidence. He's going to release a report tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern, a second part of his report. He will be speaking at the rally on December 1st in Washington, D.C. So I want to invite you all to join that. Follow my account or follow Save Nigeria Group USA.org to learn more. Thank you very much for joining the conversation. Let me rush back to the hands for those that have questions. So if you have a question, I want to rush to you for Barrister Enebehi before he drops down. Oh, I was supposed to bring in MD up. You please take 3 to 5 minutes and engage if you want to, the barrister.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. And Barris, I would love to connect with you after this. So if you don't mind DMing me or I DM you. So just to kind of keep it brief, um, I am part of an entity called the Civilian Accountability and Transparency Task Force. It's an entity that we believe is going to move Nigeria forward. I think just to kind of lay out a few thoughts here, Trump's uh, threat of military intervention or U.S. Military intervention in Nigeria is just one more signifier that Nigeria is a failed state, and we have to just accept that at this point. It's now the only question is what degrees of failure are we entering into? And so when we have the majority of our population living in multi-dimensional poverty, and then we have a government that can guarantee internal security or even guarantee security from external threats, as we see with the US proposition, then we know we're a failed state. So the question is, what is the solution to the broader Nigerian issue and then to the specific issue of the insecurity in the country and Christian genocide? Um, uh, this military intervention, I am not going to enter into the debate of whether it's altruistic or whether it's malevolent or what Trump's intention are. But one thing I do want Nigerians to understand is, okay, let's say that the US intervenes militarily, then what? Okay, you find a few locations, you kill maybe 5,000 of these terrorists. Then what happens after that? I mean, there are thousands of these individuals who can be radicalized to fill the boots that have been taken out. So you quickly begin to find that the militaristic intervention is probably on a road to nowhere, and the U.S. is not going to stay in Nigeria and spend billions of dollars. That's another thing people have to understand is when you deploy these forces, aircraft carriers, etc., it costs money. So the US will come in, it will intervene, and will go. And then who's left with the issues after that? Because my belief is that this could potentially galvanize these Islamist elements to be more aggressive, to be more tenacious, and actually accelerate the agenda they already have in the country. So foreign military intervention has untold, unintended consequences that we have to factor in as we're potentially asking for that. The other point that has been made here is, about the political process. Well, I no longer believe that the political process is the way in Nigeria. First of all, we can't even have free and fair elections. The system is completely defunct. But then, second of all, even if we were to have free and fair elections, as we're seeing in Anambra State today, it's the same people that have stolen all the money in the country that will be there to put their candidates forward, right? So we'll be stuck with another generation of the same kind of despots we've been ruled by. And so I think it's important that Nigerians now understand that our solution is none of these things. Our solution is societal. Nigerians don't need help. We need to take responsibility. And what I mean by that is that we have to understand that at the end of the day, whether you're Tinubu or whoever you are, the ruling class of Nigeria cannot operate without us in civil society. These people live in civil society. They bank in civil society. They go to church in civil society. Everything they do in civil society. We, the people, give them the power through our labor, our social currency, and our financial currency. What we are proposing at CAT, because we believe that the country is really at an inflection point, and that's like within the next 5 years, is that if things continue to go on the way they're going to go, we're either going to have a bloody revolution in this country, or we're going to descend into anarchy where warlords are managing, several fiefdoms. And that's kind of already what's happening at the moment. The disintegration of the states in front of our eyes. But we believe that there's a third option, which is a technocratic revolution. And what is a technocratic revolution? A technocratic revolution is a non-violent way to install technocratic governance in Nigeria. And the question is, how do you achieve this? The first step in ushering in a technocratic revolution is that we have to go beyond the legal process to enforce accountability and transparency on the existing ruling government. That means that we, the people, have to go after specific individuals who are malevolent actors in this government. And we have to go after them financially, we have to go after them socially, and then we have to go after them logistically. I'll give you an example. There's a gentleman by the name of Paulino Sokoronko, who was a general manager at NMPC, who was recently apprehended by the US authorities because he took a bribe and he was laundering, he took a bribe from Sinopec, through a subsidiary called ADAX, about $2.1 million. He was laundering that money through real estate in the US and California. They have now seized him, seized his assets, and he's now looking at potentially 10 years in prison. Do you know how many of these malevolent actors in this government that we can do that with? Every single one of them. All we need to do is to set up the system and the processes to be able to do that. So the first step in the technocratic revolution is enforcing accountability and transparency through the powers that we have in civil society. And we have so many of them. And this is the problem. What's happened in Nigeria is that the state has been so abusive that the people have now forgot that we have the power. All we need are systems and processes to amplify and exercise that power.
Okay.
So that's the
Yeah. We are not going to be able to go through all. We have too many requests.
no problem.
But
No problem.
follow in the and you can continue the conversation as we go.
Fantastic. So just to round up to Nigerians, let's be careful and let's be objective about what we're going for. I don't think the solution to our problem is militaristic, nor is it political. We in civil society have to get together and go after this government and then push for the Nigeria that we want. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Namdi, for your advocacy. Please continue to speak. You can see that you're winning slowly some hearts and minds. So appreciate your tenacity on this. When you started first, we weren't even listening to you. It's getting clearer by the day that we need solutions outside the box thinking. Just mentioning Anambra state elections alone, what a disappointment. Anyway, people were selling their votes literally on broad daylight. And well, let me not bring the local elections into the conversation. Guys, we're talking about Nigerian Christian genocide. Is it real? We have a guest on the platform, which was just invited by me because I saw him and we're friends. And he's here. If you have legal questions regarding the issues he raised, our constitutional barriers to solutions, I would like for you to ask those questions. We'll do that for the next 5-10 minutes. Go back to general submissions. So if you have a question, you can unmute your mic and ask. I'll circle back to others' requests. Any questions for Barrister?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much once again having the opportunity to speak. So my question is, I would like the barrister to shed more light on the the Terrorism Act of the 2011 year that was repealed in 2022. Want to know what I want to have an idea of what changed. Thank you.
I would have loved for you to ask questions relating to what he spoke about because he may need to look that up and get more details so he can give you very accurate information. But thank you for your question, Precious. Barrister, you just note that down unless you want to respond immediately if you have it top of your head about the Terrorism Act repeal. I have no idea. I'm not a barrister, so. But in any case, let's keep the questions coming. Barrister, please just note down. I'll jump. Who else has a question for Barrister regarding the legality of everything we are seeing today?
Yeah, I have.
And including the possible intervention of the United States Army. Barrister, would you like to respond to Precious?
I don't know if I'm misreading her. Is it correct to say it is in respect of the Nnamdi Kanu's trial that is being tried under a repeal law, or are you just asking a general question?
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's just a general question because um making it look like okay, it's just about Tinubu. So we are saying this um act was repealed under Buhari. So why are they making it look like everything? Yes, we don't like Tinubu. I don't like Tinubu. I think it's somehow unfair to make it look like it's just been since 2023 that we are seeing all these things.
No, not really, because what happened was that the Terrorism Prevention Act was repealed and reenacted. So what they call repeal and reenactment process, where a law is repealed and then a new one is introduced. That was basically what happened. The principles of the both the repeal Terrorism Prevention Act and the new one, they are generally the same. The 2011 Act, which was repealed and replaced, both have purpose, except that in the definition of terrorism, the 2022 Act is more expansive to include certain actions that are more broad and were not envisaged or contemplated in the 2011 Act. But generally, it's not as if terrorism is a new thing. Our laws have always had provisions for them.
All right, thank you very much. You will try to rush because so many folks are requesting to engage Barrister, and all others want to speak on the issue. So I'll just take three more on the questions. I didn't schedule this with him, so I want to be respectful of his time. Velele, I see you waving. Go ahead with your question if you do have.
Yes, thank you. Barrister, please, I wanted to ask. I was speaking with my friend the other day, and he was thinking because he's actually from Jos, but he was thinking that him and some other people from Belt, he was wondering like, can they take Tinubu and the Nigerian government to the International Criminal Court, right? Um, just because of their failure to secure their lives, and then what would that logistics be like? Do they need to set up an organization? Do they need to go through an organization? Because what he was actually explaining to me was that, it has gone on for a long time, lost a lot of people, they've gotten no reprieve, it's like radio silence and gaslighting. So if we take this government, again, I'm not from this area, right? So I'm saying we because, we're friends. But if they take the government to the International Criminal Court, what's that going to look like for them? Would it cost them a lot of money and they appeal to NGOs on and on and on? Thank you.
Well, I think they may have a misunderstanding of the workings and the jurisdiction of the ICC. Of course, Nigeria is a state party to the statute
Oh, Barrister, check your
of the
network. You are rubber bounding.
Criminal
Barrister,
Court.
you are rubber bounding.
Maybe
Can you hear me?
clearly, can you hear me?
Yeah, you.
Can you hear
Yes,
me?
better now.
Can you
Yes.
hear me? Thank you. So I'm simply saying that I don't want to go into the argument of whether Tinubu should be taken to the ICC or not. All I will tell you is that it is only the prosecutor of the ICC that can present charges or can bring a case before the ICC. So if you have any reason to believe that Tinubu should be dragged before the ICC, you do that through a complaint to the prosecutor of the ICC. It is the prosecutor who will assess the complaint, investigate it, and whether it is sufficient, whether it has met the legal threshold for a case to be brought. But nobody can go to the ICC directly. You go through the office of the prosecutor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Vilele, for that very valid
And
question.
then, sorry, before you go to the international justice, why not seek redress before Nigerian? Because to my surprise, many of the I'm not sure that any community that has been ransacked, that people have been rendered, have been changed to camps. I'm not sure if there are really class actions by people of those communities. I'm not even sure if those communities have filed things against the federal government. I'm not even sure if any state government has filed a case or even a local government against the government in a Nigerian court. Why can't we start from our own, right? Why can't we start by seeking local before we need to go to the international arena? Really done a lot in seeking redress legally. I don't think we've done enough. So if this your friends are from communities, why can't they start by seeking redress in Nigerian courts?
Well, one would say we don't believe in Nigerian courts, or they don't believe in Nigerians led by Kikredu. I know you're a barrister, so you may believe because that's your job. It's like a pastor not believing in God. You understand why you believe. Many of us don't believe. Thank you, Marisa Inebe. I think we'll tie it there so that people can give their submissions. Marisa, thank you. You can remain if they have questions for you, but I'll just let us go back to the submissions
I have
now.
question for Barrister.
Okay, that will be the last one. Unfortunately, we can't continue. We want to go back to the topic. So you go ahead for time.
Have a
Okay.
question as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll do wait. Mario and Afatai will be the last two. Sorry for the rest of us. We just continue. He will be listening. He can always respond. Go ahead, Fatai, then Mario.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving me the chance. Barrister, good day, sir. The conversation is Christians genocide in Nigeria. Yeah, it's real. My question to Barrister is, if we eventually find out that this insecurity and genocide, kidnapping, the military personnel, some of the military personnel are involved in this, is there a way we can deal with them for acting that way?
Well, ordinarily, soldiers are uh, subject to service law. That is what I mean is that we have the military jurisprudence. If a soldier misbehaves, it's a crime. Before they can be tried in the civilian court, they have to go through the service law process. Checking them before a court martial to try them. The truth of the matter is that this is a rule of law. I don't know if Nigerians still remember the Dasuki Gate, where military were found to have diverted monies and politicians were found to have diverted monies meant for procurement of the military hardware. Nigeria has not effectively resolved Dasuki, even Dasuki till date. We are still going back and forth with this trial. So the Brown who may be found to have colluded or connived. I mean, some arrests have been made, some trials are going on. Not at a scale that will show real seriousness or political will to solve the problem. So yes, if a soldier is found complicit, the officer can be controversial.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, I do. Even me, that is not a lawyer, knows that their own rules are a bit different from civilians. So, Fatai, thank you for your question. Mario, very quickly, please.
All right, thank you. Barrister, from what you said, it just means that there's nothing that can be done because we need a solution. Nothing can be done. The constitution does not agree for a referendum, but yet the constitution has been created in such a way that the people does not really have a say in what's going on in government. Don't you know that the government, the people in government, or the people that created the constitution, they have purposely created the constitution in that way so that no matter what the people do, even if the people try to um, do a revolution, the constitution will still protect them from the people. Because at the end of the day, the people do not even put, most of the people you're talking about, the people don't even put them in power. Most of the men talking about, the people did not put them in power. It was the court that put him in power. Tinubu, the people did not put him in power, but it was the court that put him in power. So, which realistic solution, what solution do you think, which realistic solution do you think that can happen that will help the situation? Because if you keep, like you said, you've been doing some research, following up on elections. You have said it that you don't see any way. Even if the people try to do revolution, the police will come and tear gas people and shoot people. The police doesn't want to listen to people. NSAS, the people came out. The government should come and speak to the people, address the people. Look what happened. So don't you know that this is just like a vicious circle we are all in? You just think something will happen. Even when people will try to bring out organized people to come out to do something, we get killed, we get shot at, and we run back to our shells. Then we start struggling, start suffering, looking for ways to survive, and it keeps going on and on and on and on. So, what do you think is a realistic solution to this problem? If you think that there's no other way, then what do you think? If not, if you think what you've said that like
No, no, your question is fine because of time. Let him answer.
yeah,
Thank you, Mario.
thank you.
Well, just quickly, I did not say there is no solution at all. I'm saying that it is a long way to freedom. Now, Section 8 and 9 of the Constitution outlines the process for amendment. Section 8 typically deals with certain specific matters that requires a different forum. For example, matters pertaining to state creation, matters pertaining to amendment of Chapter 4 that has to do with fundamental rights, and a few other matters. You want adjustments, you require a higher number of threshold because for you to amend the constitution generally under section 9, okay, the process is outlined, but the summary is that two-thirds of the House of Assembly must give concurrence. Two-thirds of the House of Assembly must agree to the amendment. So even if you want to allow for a referendum today, it has to go through 36 houses of assembly, and the president has to assent to it. That has to start through the process of a bill. My point is that nobody is willing to even introduce a bill to push for these things. Now, you're asking me whether a referendum can make a difference. Sorry, a revolution. Well, what is a revolution? A revolution basically alters the political order and is still executed. If you look at what is happening across the country, across the globe now, I mean, you will simply see, well, they will tell you, oh, a president is elected for 4 years, wait till the next election. But that is the point of a revolution, right? If you look at what is happening across the world in some countries, you will see citizens coming out in their millions to demand to take back the power given to them. Even our constitution says that sovereignty belongs to the people, from which all government, through the constitution, derive all its powers and authority. So it is a battle for the Nigerian people. But sadly today, the Nigerian people are divided. Nigerian people are distracted. I believe when the time comes, the revolution will not be televised. I still believe that is the most realistic way forward. I do not think, again, I want to restate that splitting or dividing Nigeria is going to solve our problems. But I've seen that even at the subnational level, I have seen how bad, how deep the rot is. So I don't think we can simply just solve our problem by splitting ourselves into different entities. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go back to submissions. HA Zona, you can give your
So
submissions. If you have questions,
is Maxwell. Sorry.
Maxwell, hold on. HA Zona was here earlier. I want him to speak. Raise your hands. If you have a question, you can use your time to ask. That's fine. HA Zona, go ahead. Everybody, please, let's do three minutes because of the many people that have been waiting. 3 minutes, ring the bell or wave. Watch me. If I wave, you know your time is up.
Steve, thank you, but my time will never be up. Honestly,
No, not your physical time. Stop being superstitious. No, the time to
I know
speak,
it's
I
just
meant.
a
Thank
joke.
you.
I know. I'm just joking. Anyways, the truth is that people, because I've been thinking, I've been fighting, I've been trying to see if we can, amend Nigeria, like we can make things work. But the more we try, the more the damages become more. You understand me? It's like the country is slipping off our hands. You understand? Look at what is happening in Kano. Is it not today? Look at what is happening in Kano.
The man Trump said something about invading, trying to kill the terrorists, and people are protesting. Trump never said that he's coming to invade northern states or kill northerners, just the terrorists. And people came out to protest. And these are the people we are sharing the same country with. Bro, I'm tired. I'm fed up. I cannot, in all honesty, keep on deceiving myself. Sorry, deceiving myself. I cannot because it's unworkable. We are trying to patch to know what's going to happen, but some people are not helping issue. They are not helping matters at all. And you want me to keep on coming to space and keep on giving myself false hope. For me, I believe in spirituality, not in any religion. But to be honest with you, I always say my mind, and the way I say it always happen like that. Because as it stands now, even if you give these people Nigeria 200 years, Nigeria can never get better. I have to be honest with myself. If you come out to talk about positive things, another people will come out with negativity. And those people coming out with negativity, they're always loud. And those people coming out positivity, many of them will prefer not to talk, not to speak. They will prefer to keep quiet because they feel like they don't want to offend anybody. And people are dying, and people have the temerity to come to social media to tell you that something like Christian genocide is not taking place. That people pushing this news, they are lying. Yet they keep on the news, this thing keep on coming in every now and then. But we see people that call human beings that we share country with come on social media to keep on defending this kind of thing. Enough have to be enough. And I don't want to speak much because I've been speaking about this for like 1 week now. What I want to say is this about what Barry said, because I wanted to interject then. What I want to say is this. I don't know, but I will say it the way it's supposed to be. You see this, you said something. When I interjected is when you say something about these people, this senator, this House of Assembly. They are the one to pushing or putting the referendum this on the constitution. But I want to tell you the truth. Do you, in all honesty, believe that even 0.0000 of Nigerian senator will be able to do that? Something that I've been benefiting from. Okay, just simple thing, just this one that is simple, just this electoral reform. Because they know that this is going to go against 95% of them. They will never accept it. How much more referendum? These people, we are just fighting against demons. These people are demons. They care less about anybody. They don't care about anybody. To be honest with you, many people like me here, we believe in progressive Nigeria. We believe that we remedy Nigeria. But for the look of things, like 1 week now, I've seen some of them, many of them, telling me or telling people or talking on this place that they don't believe in this Nigeria again. Let everybody go their separate ways. These are people that when we talk about separation, when people talk about separation, they will fight. But now they have been the ones championing about this separation. I think it's going to keep on. You are going to keep on like this. It's not going to happen. People are tired because if you try to think about it, the way things are going, you will have a very big mental breakdown. Finally, finally, the truth of the matter is this: we should tell ourselves the honest truth, and that honest truth is this: the should I say the southern part and northern part, they have two ideology, and that two ideology cannot work. There will never be unity or peace because the ideology is far different. I rest my case. Thank you.
All right, Chezona, thank you for your submission there. Let's quickly rush to the mic. Let me go to the hand. Maxwell, please go ahead, and Robert will go. Wura, Robert. Maxwell, go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Stephen, for this opportunity. I'll be very brief. But let us go to the foundation of this problem. One, I want to answer the question on the topic of this space. Is there Christian genocide in Nigeria? Yes, there is. And I'll tell you, it didn't even start now. It started right from the 80s and 90s. And how? If there's any slightest provocation, they will run down Christian houses, burn down churches. They've been doing it right from the 80s and 90s. Now they continued. They've amplified it. And what is the problem? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the problem. The simplest problem is even right now, we are seeing it. Since Trump made that statement, did you see the resistance from the Muslims, the northern Muslims? If you check in most of the spaces, they don't want to see it, they don't want to hear it. Why? I'll tell you why. If you bring out 10 northern Muslims, 8 of them are radicalized. Inside that 8 that are radicalized, 6 of them will wear political garment to cover it. That is why you are seeing the resistance. Unfortunately, most of the governors in the north, especially those core northern states that are practicing Sharia, most of them are radicals. And that is why they stopped Jonathan government when they wanted to bring down the terrorists, the Boko Haram, in 2014, 2013, 2014. The videos are there. Go and check. So the problem we have is a very big fundamental problem in Nigeria. It's a very big problem that we need to talk about. And that's the reality we have found ourselves. Or else, tell me why these killings are going on and nobody is saying anything. Is it that there's no government? Between last week, Saturday, that Trump made that tweet, and today, go and check how many villages have been run down in both Plateau and Benue State. It's still going on. They are enabling it. They are sympathizers with these people because they are all radicals, but they use political garments to cover themselves. And that is the truth. Until we start saying the truth as it is. I lived in the north for 11 years. Why I said 2% may not be radical is that during that period, a lot of people, that neighbor that you think is your neighbor that you are sharing food with, the moment they tell them on that Friday, so yeah, go out, that neighbor will point you that you are an infidel. And the reason why they don't want America to come, America is a sworn enemy of their religion. They see America as infidel. And that is why you are seeing this resistance. America said, we are coming to kill the terrorists that are killing both you and the Christians. And they say, no, Americans should not come. Why? Because they are radicals. I yield my mic.
All right, thank you, Maxwell. Let me rush to Robert. Robert Nwura.
Yeah, Maura. Yeah, thank you. I greet you all, my Nigerian friends. My name is Maura. As you can see, Robert. I'm a Kenyan businessman based in Switzerland, and I work with the Nigerian Christians who have been massacred. And I have a very good heart for Nigerians, and a special place Nigeria have in my heart because I gave my life through a church that was started by a Nigerian, Deep Life Ministry with Papa Kumunyi. I hope most of you know him. And so I have been watching this genocide that has been taking the place. And when somebody comes and says that there is no genocide against Christians, I don't know what that person is talking about. I've been following it for years now. And number two, should the USA intervene? Yes, they should. They should even have come like yesterday, not even today or tomorrow. Yes, they might have some of their vested interest, Americans there, like the West they have in Africa. But even if they don't come, the killing will continue, and the West will still continue taking resources from Africa. So, which is the best option among the two? They better come and save that life of that mother, that child, that pastor, that believer who has been massacred by these terrorists. I remember in the first time of Donald Trump, he called who was he? This man who was the president of Nigeria by then, I think Buhari. And Buhari said that, oh no, the friend only work with the working state. And I said, come on, these are people who are fully who are fully armed. But the problem is goes much deeper because some of the military personnel in Nigeria are fully involved in this. They are fully beneficiaries. You cannot tell me that how a country like Nigeria that has a full navy, air force, and army in the ground can fail to wipe out those bodies. No, somebody somewhere is benefiting from it, and somebody somewhere is cooperating with these bodies. And somebody said in another space I was, not this one, another one, some few weeks ago, he said that was even one governor who wanted to save his people, and he got the military got a phone call from Ashko, where you have and told them, no, tell those people to go or to go back. And the governor went around. The governor barely survived with his life. So anyone here think that there's no massacre, no genocide against Christian, I don't know what that person is thinking. So Trump should be coming, wipe out those terrorists. Yes, there will be casualties in both sides. This is war, and that's why it's called war. But it is better we put this one to an end once and for all. They should come as soon as possible because we cannot allow what is happening. You see graves everywhere. You see people even have been buried without COVID. What's wrong? You see, these are people, and for you, my Nigerian brothers, I would like you to go and read what happened in between November 24th and 28th in 1989, the Abuja election. One of the key highlights was to allow the Muslims to express and to practice their Sharia law without being interrupted in the whole of Africa. Go and read. If that one doesn't reach out about anybody, then I don't know what you're waiting for. Let's save our people. Let's save our fellow Christians. I don't care whether somebody is a pagan. Nobody is supposed to take any human life. Whether you believe in trees, you are Muslim, you are Christian, you should be allowed to live your life the way you want to live. Thank you very much, my brother, and God bless you. And may Donald Trump come quickly and wipe out this Boko Haram, quote unquote Boko Haram. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. You touched on something.
Those people are committed, not because they are money bags, but they are committed to say, okay, we are going to first thing first. When we get into the office, when you get sworn in, we're going to push for referendum or for legislative or for constitutional amendments that would favor whatever my constitution asks me to do. And then you can have, if you have people like Governoti actually take those offices, those are people that we can actually begin to galvanize to actually get what we want. But the problem with what we're doing right now, and it's real bad, is that I looked at the videos of Anambra election today. I see our mothers selling the futures of their children. I see our mothers actually selling the well-being, the job opportunities, the good schools, the good healthcare for just a bottle of malt, a can of malt and probably gala. So it's up to each and every one of us. We have to start talking to our local community and talking to our mothers and grandmothers in the village. Say, look, you can't do this. You can't sell our future in elections because you are going to pass away and you're going to leave us in a world in Nigeria that is doomed. And then we can begin to pump that message. We still have time. By the way, we still have time. We still have at least 500 days. We can pump enough of that message to our communities, our local communities, and now galvanize and have multiple Alex OT across Nigeria running for office, dedicated to actually serving the people, doing the right thing. And if we begin to do that, if we begin to push and not have the disaster, the debacle that happened today in Anambra State, if we begin to do that, I think we can come to the point in the next 2 years where we have elected leaders that will say no to cronyism, no to letting people get slaughtered all across the country, no to having bandits run our states, no to having the executive branch in Abuja actually criminalizing the powers that they have. We can begin to actually demand the citizens can actually take the country back. But the good thing is that we still have enough time to actually make it happen. We still have at least 500 days to begin to galvanize, but it just has to. It's all up to us. The power is up to us, and we can make it happen by 2027. So it's not like we are giving up hope. We cannot give up hope. actually we must be energized and push our message to the grassroots and take ownership of the process and not have to delegate the responsibilities of having a better Nigeria to somebody else. Yes, America is going to come, they're going to fix it, but they're going to create that spotlight on the processes that will now begin to inoculate all the bad practices that we have carried for over the years. Yes, America is needed to inoculate, and when they do that, it will now give us an opportunity to now begin to search for the leadership that would really want to be in place and represent us in elected position. And we can do it within the next 500 days. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Very quickly, we're beginning to wind down as well. Let me make a new queue. A new queue. I'll go to the Nigeria Renaissance Project, liquidation. Then I'll go to Dan Tala. You guys keep changing your name. Oh boy, go. I don't know. I can't even pronounce it. The Nigeria Renaissance Project. Go ahead.
Good evening, guys. Now, on the issue of, let's start with the issue of the topic of this piece itself. Is the state genocide one? Is it real or not? But I would say yes, it is definitely real because I used to say it wasn't because I had a problem with the word genocide, not that there was targeted killings. But now I can see that in certain places, those killings have indeed achieved genocidal proportions. Um, but the solution to it, to these problems, again, are systemic solutions because the problem is systemic. I know it's easy in heated times like this for people to turn to knee-jerk reactions, emotional reactions. So we're hearing a lot of people saying, "Oh, we can't live with these people anymore. Split up the country." The gentleman, the learned gentleman earlier on, pointed out the immense legal challenges, legal and constitutional challenges to this process. Uh, so from the political end, from the legal end and constitutional end, obviously, we need to be looking at political solutions. It means that going forward, for those of us who believe that we want to structure the country, we must demand of the candidates we support that they be candidates who are in fact in line with this ideal. However, we cannot wait until election time to solve this at the ballot box. So I think as much as we come on spaces and discuss these things, we must also organize ourselves into a movement that actively and aggressively and doggedly tries to expose everywhere and every instance where these things are happening. And I'm not even talking about um, active violence only, but you see, social media is awash with real and credible threats of this kind of violence. And we've normalized aggressive rhetoric so much that these things are slipping under, just in the same way we normalize violence across our country so much that the genocide is happening right under our noses, and half the country doubts it because, hey, it's just violence. It's horrible. So I think we must organize ourselves and actively root out the people, the characters that hide behind social media profiles and what have you, the ones that bring themselves on television screens and try to disguise the same terroristic speech, but disguise it with politically correct language, disguise it with regime acceptable language. We must begin to root out these people and put them out there, put them on blast. Let the whole world see them for who they are. We live in a country where we have had somebody with unresolved allegations of having either incited or led a mob to murder a student. We've had that character serve as a minister of the Federal Republic until today. The reality of whether or not, or where the culpability for that death lies, has not been resolved. It behoves a country of Nigeria's status that if we were going to appoint such a man with such legal baggage, that that legal baggage should have been resolved before he was appointed, not just to any position, but to a position with immense responsibility over our critical infrastructure, over our very privacy. These are the minor discussions that get lost in the anger, in the rage, in the riled up emotions. Is that really crazy things are happening right under our noses? But we are all so angry, myself included. We are all so angry. Look, it's almost 2 a.m. where I am, and I'm awake talking about this because we are so angry. Nigeria gives one so much heartache that when we hear people know better defending the indefensible, we lose it and then we get angry and we use angry rhetoric. In the last 2, 3 years, the rhetoric in our political spaces, the debate rhetoric has become so heated, it's almost impossible to extract any sense from any conversation. But I'm happy that these events have sort of shoved us into a corner where we are forced to, you know, have sane conversations about these things. But as we do it, we must begin to highlight the crazy things because you see, it's easy for us to get lost talking about violence and death. Nobody's talking about the fact that for decades, the group of people we're screaming genocide about have been persecuted, have been targeted with what certain people would call microaggressions, with hate speech, with tweaked and messed with university admission quotas, all sorts of things. If we ask around enough, you would hear all sorts of things. But nobody said anything about these things until now they're getting killed. We must begin to call out every single form of it and root out importantly the people sponsoring them. They are in our government. They are in our government. Different levels of our government. If you people think it's not the terrorists are only the ones in the bush, think again. They're in your police force. And I'm not even talking about, repentant terrorists in your army. I mean senior security officials who they have never been in the bush, but they think exactly like the man in the bush. They share ideological affinity with the man in the bush. We need to have these difficult discussions. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much. The Nigerian Renaissance Project. Definitely would have loved to expand on your work. These are times where we need sane minds, calm, cooler heads. I really enjoyed your submission. I wish that we had more time, but thank you for gracing us with your presence and also giving us your thoughts. We're going to rush. We're trying to wind down. Nelson, where are you? I do need to hop on another meeting. But while we're waiting for Nelson, I'll go to Liquidators. Liquidators, welcome to the conversation.
Hey, good evening, my fellow Nigerians. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Be very quick. Yeah, two minutes so that we can get so many people have been waiting.
Okay, I will make it brief. I love the fact that you all are coming together to to discuss and pour out your emotions, your pains. That's fine. That's fine. I love that. But my submission here is no matter what you talk, no, I don't know how I don't know how you're gonna receive it. Nigeria is irredeemable. Even if you are hoping on the electoral reform coming up, no, nothing will happen. Tinubu will still win. They will still manipulate it. So the whole thing that is happening is not by mistake. It has been crafted from ab initio to happen. So let me tell you what happened. Actually, there is Christian genocide going on even before 1999 or whatever. Let's just put it before this current dispensation of political arrangement. But what I'm trying to say here is that expansionist, how will I say, militants that are currently in Nigeria have conditioned Nigerians to believe that I'm trying to craft it so I don't, because me personally, I don't believe that Nigeria can work again, because I've made that peace with myself over 20 years. And I keep on saying it in every I'm not saying that the conversation in Nigeria will put things in order. But what I'm trying to say is the people in Nigeria are part of Nigeria and they are a reflection of what's happening in Nigeria. Even if you take any person you bring in today, cannot fix Nigeria. Nigeria has gone to the point that even Jesus Christ or
All
Allah
right.
come to fix the complex head. So, but let me just conclude, right? Whatever you do, just do it, but have in mind that Nigeria is irredeemable. It can't be fixed. So I don't know the solution. However, you guys want to do it, you guys can do it. But to be frank with you, it can be redeemed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, we're trying to round up the space. We've been speaking on Nelson's platform here on the Nigerian Christian genocide. Is it real? We've had the several conversations from people with different views. As we begin to round, let me ask that you follow Nelson and follow myself and the panelists so that you can follow these issues as we continue. On the 1st of December 2025, we're going to be going to Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill, as Nigerians that are concerned about the genocide of Christians to press Congress to act. Also, for the White House to know that time is of the essence. So please follow the account and follow our tweets, share the flyers, create awareness, and let's meet in Washington, D.C. Thank you very much. I'll move the microphone to Dan Tala.
Good evening, my leader. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nelson, for this space. Well, the question is an affirmation. That is, people are being killed, and they are being killed by Muslim extremists from Nigeria North. It's not from Libya, not from Sahel, not from any part of the world, where there are Nigerians and within Nigeria. Thank you. This has been asserted. This is not my position. This position has been meticulously determined by my investigation, and this is not touched today. And I've spoken with some few friends who are Muslim from Nigeria and Northerners, and they have talked to me on a very honest way and what I think is the best way to go about it. Unfortunately, the complicity here is that we have Nigerian Muslims, many Nigerian Muslims from the north. When we talk about people being killed who are Christians, they feel you are attacking the Muslim folk, and that's not the case. Islam particularly is not a place where there's no place that says you should kill anybody. I have plenty of friends, and I have countries. I mentioned name of countries, even within Africa, even within West Africa. They are not at war, and they have very little number of Muslims living in those places. But unfortunately, this is what is going on in Nigeria. And why is it going on? Whether we have this kind of different breed of Christianity and Muslims in Nigeria, or people who do these things with the intention to destroy or make a case for themselves in Nigeria, it's something that the authorities is still examining. But whatever it is that the reason why Nigeria cannot actually do anything about it is because Nigeria is not a state yet. What I mean is not a state that can be undermined by any human being cannot be a state. A state where human beings have far-reaching effects. A state where you cannot elect your leaders, you cannot have a country in it. So if you see what's going on around, they see it as any other thing. So people are still fighting about what it is. And you can say, oh, if you don't know your history, you cannot even address the future. That's a bigger thing in Nigeria. I agree very well that Nigeria is not a country, and we cannot pretend that Nigeria is a country. We cannot pretend anything at all. Until we start seeing evil as evil, nothing will happen. And how do I mean? Now, if you say let us amend section 212 of the Constitution of Nigeria, which borders on the Nigerian police force, you cannot address the issue. This is because the Nigerian problem is fundamental, not peripheral, not what you can just provide some portion of the Constitution of Nigeria. Even though you amend the Constitution of Nigeria, you do everything, it will not happen until you go back to the Nigerian root, which is the question first we must answer is, do you want to be a country? That question must be answered by Nigerians. If you have to be a country, how do you want to be a country? What kind of arrangement do you want to have? Arrangement where you have a military officer from the north coming to the south, or some part of the south that he does not have an idea of. An examination where you have criminals who are from different parts of the country, come in another part of the country to come commit crime. You don't know who they are. Unfortunately, the security system have been overthrown by the criminals who are infiltrated in the Nigerian system. So people are bigger than the Nigerian state and bigger than the Nigerian laws. So that's why Nigeria cannot work right now. So whatever you are seeing today now will be getting worse. And Tinubu, who is president of Nigeria, cannot solve the problem. He does not have an idea about the problem because he's not honest about solving the problem. The only first way to honestly solve the problem is that we have to come back to the drawing board, which is Nigeria is not. If we want to be a country, what fundamentals are we going to be together with? What things are we going to be together with? The current system cannot work. Even though if you pray for Nigeria, people will die. That's the only thing about Nigeria right now. You cannot allow them to meet you where you are. Nigeria can meet you where you are. Don't say you are outside. You can even be in your house, like the young lady who was in her house, resting where they came to her house to kill her. So you can see these things happening every day in Nigeria. We're not talking about people who are dying because of fake drugs. I'm not talking about people who are dying because of there's no medical attention to them. We're not talking about those. We're talking about people who are being killed and destroyed deliberately in Nigeria. For instance, we have pockets of violence in every part of Nigeria that does not come to the media. You can only hear 15 dies, 20 die, we move on because it's not my family member, it's not from my kindred. So I may not be able to, I may not bother myself. But somewhere in Benue State, 200 people were killed, 150 people were killed in their home, children and adults. Till today, there's no investigation that has brought anybody to book. In 2017, people were worshiping in somewhere in Owo, and they killed them, entered the church and killed them. 2025, we are still hearing the matter in a country that crime is almost everyday thing. So it's always show only one thing, that we are not ready. And we cannot pretend to be trying to be a nation. So we need to go back to the basics. No matter how much you try to reward the Constitution of Nigeria, because the Constitution of Nigeria did not give back to Nigeria first of all. The Constitution must be autonomous. What we mean autonomous, it must come from the people. It must be of the people. If it doesn't come from the people, that's what you're going to be saying. When you say crime, somebody from somewhere in Nigeria come to somewhere, let's say in Southwest, because if I'm from Southwest and I commit crime in Southwest, people from Southwest will be able to, they will know how to, they will even go to my family house to look for me because they know we know ourselves. But where you come from somewhere extremely different from where I came from, I don't even know who you are, I don't have an idea who you are. It's a different thing entirely. That's why somebody from Chad, somebody from Nigeria can come to Nigeria and commit crime easily and go home. Because one, we don't know anything about Nigeria. So it's still a fact, if you see the fact, we are still trying to deceive ourselves and say God will help us. And like my friend Mr. Stephen will always say that he believes Nigeria will work for everybody. Nigeria will not work for anybody. Nigeria will not work for you, for anybody, for anything. The only time we Nigeria to work for you, if you are a criminal minded person, Nigeria will reward you criminally. Nigeria will reward criminality. Because Nigeria is basically founded on criminality. So it's only people who are of criminal-minded people that succeed in Nigeria. If you're not a criminal, your family is not a criminal person, you don't have any people who are criminal in your community, who are directly connected to you, you will likely live in Nigeria miserably and die miserably, and they may not remember that you lived on earth. So what is simply asking for is simple. For us not to continue to see death that we see every day, like we see in every part of Nigeria, not us in the middle belt, That of military is a consistent one, which is deliberate. This is not my opinion. This is from the paramount ruler of the Tivland, the king of Tivland in Benue State. He told President Tinubu in June this year that there is a genocidal crusade against the people. This is not anything. They kill the people in the community, take the community and send them to the IDP camps. This community, people are still harboring, people are still living there. Government have not gone to sack them, but government know what they are doing. The governor of Benue Plateau State said it very clearly that whatever is going on in Plateau State is not clash. When we say clash, we say somebody, maybe I'm fighting with you. In law, it can be proportional to say, okay, I carry stick, you carry stick, and we are fighting. But me, I'm sleeping in my house in the night. You carry AK-47 to come and kill me. And you wake up, you say it's a clash. I don't know how people understand these things to be. When I come to the governor of Plateau State last week, or this week rather, he said whatever is going on in the state is not a clash, it's a genocide against the people. But unfortunately, he's a governor and he has not done anything about it. He rather will talk about 2027, how to become governor of Nigeria 2027. And the president is more occupied about election than your life. Even though as a member of APC, the president is more occupied for his 2027 than your own life. So that's why Nigeria is not a country. So we need to go back to the basics so that we don't continue to see the death we are seeing. The death will not stop. That's unfortunately, the death will not stop. You're not going to wish it away. It was created for these people, like somebody earlier said. But unfortunately, the only way we can abet it, and even if not eradicate it, is to come back to the country. Say, do you want to have a country? If you want to have a country, then we need to have a base of the country. Because you cannot have the people that sympathize with terrorists, you cannot have people that celebrate terrorism, and you say me and this person are from the same country. No, we cannot have the same country. When I call you out, this thing you are doing is evil. You say this is what it is. I'm persecuting you, I'm calling your name, I'm abusing you, whatever it is. So Nigeria cannot work either today, tomorrow, or whatever it is, until we do the right thing. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much. The saddest part of what we are where we have come to now is believers in Nigeria are reducing, like cryptocurrency crashing. I don't know whether some of you trade crypto.
Until the kids, you say that I'm a believer.
The rate at which people that have gone on these streets, very patriotic, the rate at which they are giving up on Nigeria is troubling. I'm hearing from people that like you can't. I hope something can be done to salvage the situation, because the country cannot survive without the people believing in it. I fear for the future of Nigeria, because it is troubling what is ahead of us when young people strongly believe in some of these things. For me,
Unfortunately, Nigeria don't believe in Nigeria. That's honest truth. Even the ones in Nigeria, right?
my own challenge is that I am an eternal optimist.
No,
I am an eternal optimist.
Wari shouted one Nigeria for 8 years. He was shouting Nigeria unity is not negotiable. Wari could not be the hospital that will take care of his health. Wari died in UK. A Nigerian president died in UK just a year after he left power. Just a year after he left. So don't let anybody deceive you about Nigeria. Tinubu does not believe in Nigeria. Because he's president of Nigeria. If you did today, now you go. People know these things. It's not a secret anymore. It's not as people live on it and live on bubble. You don't die on Nigeria. That's the only thing I can pray for you, so that Nigeria don't kill you. Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you very much. Nigeria will not happen to me in a negative sense. I'm not here to speak either way. Everybody can speak on their own terms. I appreciate your joining the conversation. I'm trying to get Nelson, but it looks like he has abandoned us on the space. I don't know on the Batora. I don't know where he went to. He just set me up, right? Okay. All right. Let's see whether we can bring Nigerian. Somebody's got Nigerian problem. Interesting.
Yeah.
Nigerian problem. Oh wow. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I believe I can be heard, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
All
Yeah,
right.
go ahead.
All right. Thank you. So, to the topic of this space, right? Whether there is a genocide in Nigeria. Yes, there is a genocide in Nigeria. And it's been a long, long term agenda. That's the truth. A whole lot of our parents and old folks already know this, but it's sad that in our time, everything is becoming glaring. Why? Because of the presence of social media. A whole lot have gone down, right? Without the outside world hearing these things. But yeah, all thanks to social media. But the fact still lies that the solution to Nigeria's problem is beyond social media. That's it. It's beyond social media. And for those people who say that, oh, America is going to invade Nigeria, America didn't say they're going to attack Muslims. They never said they will attack innocent people. They are coming for the terrorists. And let it be known, American government don't just speak, talk with facts. They do research and they always know, they're always miles ahead before they take any action. So it's sad that the Nigeria we find ourselves today, right? We are no longer touched by the atrocities we hear on the news, people's deaths, I used to remember when I was young, right? If something happens and it goes on the news and you hear, oh, 2 people were killed, accidents, a whole lot of people would be sad. But these days you hear 500 people are killed and everybody just feels normal. We're already, growing immune to these things. And it's sad. It's sad because we find ourselves in the society where it has just become a norm because our government have decided to play it. And now, General Sani Abacha said something. He said something. If an insurgency lasts for more than 24 hours, the hand of the government is inside. It's involved. We don't need to, paint words. We don't need to, go beat around the bush. Nigerian government knows these things. And there are government officials actively aiding these terrorists. That's the truth. America knows all these things. They already have these information. And the reason why there is an uproar, so many people coming up with crazy, like, oh, Northerners are protesting, all those things are politically sponsored. They are sponsored. So I'm not even moved by those news and trash because, yeah, it's sad that in Nigeria you find out there's a whole lot of uneducated people who are very, you can easily deceive them. And that's why you look at Anambra State election, you see someone being taking malt and gala. Lack of exposure. A lot of Nigerians, the truth is that a lot of Nigerians don't even know how the government is designed. Majority of Nigerians don't even know who to hold accountable for the basic amenities they deserve in their own localities. Most Nigerians don't even know these things. Everybody is just all about, oh, president. You're not even holding your local government chairman accountable. But he's just living next door to you. You're not even holding your senator. You're not even holding the House of Reps member. Nobody is even holding anybody accountable. Every Nigerian is all about, oh, Tinubu, Senate president. But the grassroots persons in power, who are your voices, are just all there, eating the money, getting the allocations, and doing crazy things. So let me not waste our time, right? The solution to this country's problem is not about dividing the country. Everybody goes, even if you divide Nigeria today, the key corrupt elements will still stay in power. That's the truth. They'll still come back and take over power from the, separated states or regions or what. We just have to look at it from outside the box. What if we decentralize this federal government? Because it's sad that a president in Aso Rock can give a directive in a state as to who he wants to be the state governor against the will of the masses, against people's votes. That is terrible. It doesn't happen anywhere. But if we look at the last governorship election in Imo State, it played out. I was in Imo State for that election, and everybody knew who won. Now the president sat in Aso Rock and gave the directive as to who he wants to be the governor. And it happened. So why are we all looking at, oh, the presidency? Why can't the states take responsibility I feel that if we decentralize this federal government of a thing that is a sham, right? Every state stays accountable. If you look at the northern part of Nigeria are all farmers. But these days, looking at oil proceeds. The whole groundnut pyramid, cocoa farm is gone. So why can't we just look at decentralizing this federal government? Let each state take responsibility. Let them take the main responsibility of what plays out in the states. Then two, it's sad, very, very sad that the average Nigeria, I've heard a couple of speakers say, let Nigeria not happen to it. The truth is this: when the masses don't have who to defend them, they are left in the mercy of nobody. The average Nigerian one, if he gets in trouble, where does he report to? He reports to the police. If the case is above the police, right, you file the case to court. But it's so sad that these days you have an issue, you report to the police, and most times you that even reported the case to the police will end up being the victim. Two, you take a case to court, court will adjourn a case till you become frustrated. Now, we need to have a radical movement in this country if we want to get things right. Because the people that are leading us, the truth of the matter, the people that are leading Nigeria are principalities and powers, are demons, are not human beings. So you cannot follow a demon with the right mindset. You have to be radical with that kind of person for him to understand the language you're speaking. The judiciary of Nigeria needs cleansing. They need to step up. They need to sit up. Barrister, sorry for this, but it's sad. You take a case to court, the rights of Nigerians are denied every day. Every day. There are
Thank you.
whistleblowers.
Your name is Nigeria Problem. I can see that you want to go on and on because our problem. So tie it here. Tie it here.
Yes.
Let's move the mic. Thank you very much. 30 seconds.
Yeah. So we need to judiciary. We need to work on our judiciary system. We need to work on our paramilitary, police reforms, and all these things that if we are able to evict these principalities and powers leading us. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Let me bring a lady in. Let me first find out if. Honorable Odor, are you there? Okay. What? Lillian? Is it Lillian?
It's Leilani.
Okay, Lillian, welcome to the space. Add your voice to the conversation.
I didn't hear a lot of the conversation earlier, but what I heard recently is that I think it's sort of foolish for Nigerians to allow the United States to come into their territory, into their nation, and use their military to fix whatever's going on there. America has a lot of their own problems. We have a lot of problems with our own judicial system, with our own police system, with housing, with food and education. And what our president is doing is deflecting and distracting. And this is historical, and this is wasteful of money. I understand you all have some issue there with terrorism or whatever, but if you're allowing the U.S. military to come to your borders, it's not a benefit for you. It will never be a benefit for you. It's a benefit for the wealthy people in the United States. It doesn't even trickle down to the American citizens. We have the same problems, just in different regions of the world. But you would be stupid to allow the U.S. government to come into your nation and execute people on your land and soil.
All right, Liliani, if you don't mind, let me quickly correct you. Nigerians have nothing in common with the American. Nothing. The only thing you have in common with the Nigerian in Nigeria is that you're a human being and that person is a human being. You have no idea what the people suffering the genocide have to deal with. You've never seen it before. You may have watched it in GTA and movie stories. You have no idea what it means to live.
You might have a genocide. Let's state it.
Excuse me, please. This is very important. I understand. I live in America. I understand where you were coming from. Trust me, I do. But you don't presuppose to assume that you have your own problems. You have no problems. You have no problems. If you're in trouble, you can call 911 and there'll be police there. Have you ever seen a country where you cannot call the police? Have you ever been in a situation where people in uniform are coming to kill you? Have you ever lived in the same country with ISIS, some of them in your government? Do you understand what people are talking about? You don't. So don't presuppose. There's an American thing to always think you know what you don't know. I respect you a lot and appreciate your perspective, but don't presume to know that over 11 million people living in camps as we speak right now, terrified for their lives, have something in common with you because you disagree with Trump, you hate Trump, you want your what is it? You have no problems. Have you ever been in a country where the electricity doesn't work, where the water doesn't work, where there are no roads? You until you travel, you will never know. So I want to appeal to you. It is a sensitive space. I understand the old Pan-Africanism. Deal with your own problems. Well, the problem is Africa has never been left alone to deal with the problem. We are in this situation today because Britain created the country. Unlike the United States, where they had the 1776 Declaration, Nigerians never gathered to create Nigeria. They weren't called. It was in Berlin. So we are a remnant of colonization. People who have very little in common forced together, and they put on the constitution that the solution is not even doable. You heard the barrister you were here earlier. He said in our constitution you can't even negotiate to leave. It's literally by law. You have no choice, whether you agree with anybody or not. So it's very different. So why I want to draw your attention to something you mentioned about America, it will never be good for you. I would appeal to you to put yourself in the shoes of people in these camps, particularly the IDPs. They had to run away from their homes. They live in neighboring countries like Niger, like Chad, Cameroon. Some of them have been in these camps for 8 years. I'm telling you, millions of people, mostly women and children. When are they going to go back home? The Nigerian government is not willing or unable to help them. So they will take help from anywhere. A drowning man will take help from anywhere. That's the situation. Yes, you're an American citizen. You reserve the right to see your government shouldn't interfere somewhere else. Let them face you and take care of your problems. I appreciate where you're coming from. But allow those who are seeking help to seek help anywhere they can. And if Trump wants to help, well, they might as well get that help. So I hear you. There's this conversation around the United States. Hey, these guys should deal with their problem. Well, the world is controlled by world powers. America is one of the major powers. They frame the world. Britain used to do that. Now Britain follows America's order. Nigeria is under the thumb of Britain, therefore under the thumb of America. We speak English because British gave us English. We literally are not allowed to civilize ourselves. We are victims for 500 years. I understand the conversation is different for those who are to go through slavery and all that. Trust me, those who stayed back home, we're not free either. We got our independence in 1960. But if you go and check the data, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. So we have our own fight. Try to listen very as much as you can. But don't say we have the same problems. We don't. Honestly, we don't. I want to appeal to you. Let me unmute so that you can respond and we'll move the mic.
I hate people who mute when they know there's a conversation happening here and they want to control the conversation.
Hate is a strong word. Hate is a strong
It
word.
is.
Please respond. You've heard me.
Respond. I use it appropriately because you're trying to control the narrative here.
Anyway, I will drop you. You can leave now. Thank you very much.
Why would I leave? Because
I really do not have
Thank you
time
very
to
much.
argue with you.
Thank you for this, please.
I don't have time. I've tried to explain to you that you have nothing in common with the people that are dying, and you're still not being sensitive because of course it's an American way. I live here in America. I know where you're coming from. Most of you do not even travel. You don't know where Nigeria is. You have nothing in common. Nothing at all. You've never seen a country like Nigeria. It's hell. There's a reason people are running, because their governments literally kill them on the street when they try to protest peacefully. There is no rule of law. Criminals run the country. Terrorists are in the government, in the military, in the police. It is not a normal country, and Nigerians did not choose it. Let me repeat, it was not a choice. Britain forced it down our throats. We don't get a vote unlike the Americans. You don't think you know what is going on. You don't. It's nothing about Pan-Africanism here or let's not like America, because no, you don't understand. Why do you think people want to travel? People are drowning in the sea in Italy to cross to Europe.
Sounds like America to me.
Well, Steve,
Let me just, I just wanted to, because there's this thing with the American community, particularly our brothers, black folks. They will say, why don't you solve your problem? Why are you fleeing? Hey, you would have told the Jews why did they flee Hitler to America and became the most prosperous group here? Why did the Jews live the Holocaust? Nigerians are being genocided by the people in government and powerful places. If you resist, you get killed. Nobody cares. There is no rule of law. There is no ambulance. There is nothing. People there have no rights. Literally. We have criminals running the country, and they get help from the West. Can we talk about the fact that we have someone who is accused of drug peddling running our country, Nigeria, now, with cases that is locked by the FBI, the same American government?
Sounds like JFK family, the Kennedy family, and sounds like right now today.
So I want to appeal that you understand that we Nigerians, particularly those in the diaspora, we keep quiet. We understand Nigeria better because some of us grew up there. It's not the same. You would benefit from listening to the pain. If you heard some of the testimonies from people who are treating gunshot wounds, no first aid, people who go days without food and water, millions of people.
Like right now, motherfuckers that ain't getting food stamps is going without food and going to pantries and shit because the Democrats and Republicans are fighting. So people are not eating now. And the people in power are criminals, low lives. You call the police might end up killing you. Some of the shit that you're saying is what's going on in America, and you know it because you're here. So, that's what we have in common.
Wait. Let me quickly tell Shah. Shah, do you know what it means to even have a government that gives you food stamp?
Oh, I get it. I get that part.
Oh
We do have that.
What privilege.
But we just started being able to vote in 1965. You talk about everything's so good and wonderful here. We weren't even able to vote. And then we had Jim Crow laws. My mother grew up in Jim Crow laws, and people were getting lynched.
Okay, I'm going to respond.
This is not some victim Olympics like going on here. Please, we have a topic. It's super important, and I really, really hope and wish that you guys respect it. Thank you.
Okay, so
It's okay.
let me do this.
It's okay. But then bad governance, you live in Texas.
Yes.
But can you respond? I'll move the mic. I need help. I have to go.
Okay, so I'm going to be quick. Real quick. Okay. I'm just going to the lady that spoke earlier and this guy that's the shy guy. So here's the deal. So most of us from Nigeria that live in the US, what we're scared of every day when we wake up is waking up to a news flash of CNN or MSNBC or Fox News saying there has been another 9/11 that took out 10,000 American lives or 10 million American lives. And that attack was launched from Nigeria by Nigeria Boko Haram. That is a possibility. That is a possibility. These guys are looking to hurt and kill Americans. And the next attack is going to come from Nigeria, whether I like it or not, because Nigeria has become the epicenter of all the demons, all the scavengers, all the terrorist group in the world. They are all gathering. They are all congregating in Nigeria, and they will congregate and they will launch attack on American soil, and they will kill millions and millions of Americans. Now, what we're doing right now is we're trying to stop them from bringing that fight coming, bringing that fight to American soil and destroying American lives and killing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Americans because they can do it. They will do it if nothing is done to them right now. They will kill Americans. And they're not going to discriminate whether you're Black American, whether you're White American, or whether you're Hispanic American. They will slaughter Americans in American soil. So whether you like it or not, whatever Trump is doing right now, Trump is trying to prevent another 9/11. Remember when 9/11 happened? When the World
Yeah.
Trade Center was taken out? He didn't care if it was a Black person in the World Trade Center or as a white person. He didn't care. He just went and put down the Twin Towers and people died. Now that attack had already cooked far away in Afghanistan before they brought it to American soil. But
That's
the
an
problem was that
interesting
people weren't paying
spin.
attention. So right
Quite
now,
creative.
let me finish. Right now, there are people paying attention. People are watching, and the story is being played out like it did in 9/11. Actually, they even attempted something like that in 2009. They sent one of these guys to come and put an underwear bomb. Google it in 2009. An underwear bomb to get into a plane and come to American soil and kill Americans. These guys are constantly, every day, they're trying to kill Americans. But my pain as a Nigerian is to sit here in the US and watch and fear that the next attack that is going to come to the US is going to come from Nigeria. And then all the Nigerians in the United States, I don't care where you live in the United States, you will now become a target because everybody will now know you as a terrorist. Once you see your name and they say he's from Nigeria, the next thing they're going to say, that guy is a terrorist. We can't hire him, we can't do business with him, we can't sit in class with him, we can't go to school with him because they are terrorists. You know what they did? You know what they did to Muslims and people from Middle East after 9/11? Where they were hunting them all over the United States after 9/11 because they knew they were calling them terrorists. Well, guess what? That's going to be worse when that attack originates from Nigeria and it's going to identify that this planning was ongoing for a long period of time in Nigeria and it was encouraged and supported by the presidents of Nigeria and the elected politicians in Nigeria, and they actually cooked, funded, and enabled this attack that came into American soil and killed millions of Americans, blacks included. So that is what we're trying to avoid. That is why we say every day, pushing that this terrorists stop in Nigeria before
I
it comes into
I
American
think
soil.
you're over dramatizing this unwarranted concern, sir. That's a very interesting and creative spin. There's nothing that says that terrorism can't come from anywhere where you have enemies of the United States. It
But
can
these
come from
guys
anywhere.
are congregating.
So
The majority
what
of
are you talking
terrorists
about?
in the world all assembling as we speak. Because even Al Qaeda has a headquarters in Nigeria right now. Boko Haram has headquarters in Nigeria right now. All the demons, all the bad players.
All right, my brother. Let me hear what Shah wants us to. Shah, I want to go to you. What's your opinion? Nigerian Christian genocide. Is this real? The U.S. intervention. Let me hear from Shah because I know Shah from a while ago. Go ahead, Shah. Let me hear your perspective so we don't misunderstand ourselves.
Okay,
Go ahead.
respect to the room and greetings, and just a quick respect to the Ipega family because it is through his family that I was able to study Ifa in English because his family in Oderemo was the family that first was able to bring the information, translate the information from oral tradition into written information through William Bascom, who was a scholar at UC Berkeley in California. So the Pega family in the 1940s were the ones who brought Ifa in English text. And I've been to Ode Ramos, where I was initiated into Ifa, and I've met Afolabi Ipega. That's my
Wait, I'm losing my train
so
of thought.
anyway, I just wanted to shout out to the Ipegas for that.
They're not here. Go ahead on the topic.
Nelson Ipega is the host, right? Yeah, he's from the family, and that's why he.
Oh, okay,
You didn't know that? Nelson
I didn't know
Ipega?
that.
Yeah, his
I
last
didn't
name
know
is
that.
Ipega, and I'm saying Ipega. And
No,
your
makes sense. Thank you. Go
Osemwegi
ahead.
is an Edo name. Osemwegi, right? I know Osemwegi at Bonhom, and from Benin, Republic of Benin. But anyway, to the room, right? These things that you're talking about, Stephen, is things that are going almost everything you mentioned
are the same things that are going on here in the United States, and you know it because you're here. You know what's going on with the police killing people, and it's increasing. And the reason that we're able to know is because people got camera phones. Prior to that, they were doing the same thing. Prior to that, back in the Black Panther days, but they didn't have camera phones, and they was stopping us, and people end up dying. So we're dying by the police too, and that's historic. The police was started by slave raids. That's how the police department started. So we've been going through this shit here since we've been here. Every time we build a community or institutions, they come and tear
Is
shit
it
down.
possible that we find a way to segue back to the
Okay,
conversation?
so yes,
Please, let's not make
genocide
it
is
about.
happening.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. So I would say people are dying. People are dying from the hands of these extremists, and I wouldn't call it Muslim, really Islam per se, because these extremists are really under the auspices of Islam or being Muslim, but they're killing Muslim people too. They're not only killing, so it's not a genocide against Christians, it's a genocide against the
Okay, okay. I'm so sorry, Nelson. Like, why did you make me come back up here as co-host, right? Please do not insult the intelligence of people who are alive who have lost their dear ones to the hands of these insurgents. And I'm going to stop you there because don't tell me that you can call them Muslims or you can insert Islam there.
How dare you interrupt my
100%. Yeah, I will. And oh Lord Jesus Christ, I will interrupt you to you have no idea. Please, like, don't come up here
Okay, I'm
and
gonna be
try to
cool.
make
I'm gonna
it.
be cool. I'm not gonna
Thank
cuss you
you
out
very much.
because you will drop me.
Don't
I'll cuss you out.
exactly. And if you have
Right,
something important to say, I think it's best that
right,
you calm down and wait to say it. But
right.
please, I beg you,
Because you
in,
don't. No, you don't.
okay, there we go. See, this is how we do it. This is how we're gonna do it. You know why we're gonna do it this way? Because while you speak and spew all this rubbish, people are dying, right? People are actually,
No,
Augustine,
no.
you've been calm and collected all this while, right?
It's
This is the yin
remember.
to
Wait,
your
wait.
yang.
Remember, Nelson is. I don't know if where Nelson went to. I don't understand because he can handle this much better than both you and I. Nelson will understand, be able to relate better. Because I'm like, we're hearing testimonies of people being beheaded. Even right now on this call, somebody just reported the chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria in Adamawa has been beheaded. And Shah is saying it's not a genocide, it's not, it's hard to hear. So I'll yield to you on Oradoro or Nelson so I can just manage. It's a space, remember, it's Nelson's Pega
100%
space.
is a space, but it's a space about what's going on in Nigeria, about people that that I know, who are dying consistently. Even while we speak, while we've been on this space, someone like a Christian, right, has been killed, beheaded, no reason. Please don't tell me it's not Islam, it's not. It is 100%. It is, and I will keep calling it that till next year, right? Sha, you are a terrorist apologist. That's what you're doing right now. If you don't know. And honestly, I will not tolerate it because too many people have died. Too many children are currently motherless, fatherless, going through hell in IDPs because of people who come into your homes and scream Allahu Akbar or they behead you. Don't you fucking no, not today. Not today, Nelson. I'm sorry, not today.
Okay, so
Augustine, I think we
if I
should
may
move on
land my
because
point,
I don't think you have any point to land.
if I may
Come
land,
here and whitewash
you can.
the whole
Okay.
ideology.
Nora, allow him to speak,
Yeah, allow me
please,
to speak.
so that we can hear each other. But I hope he understands where we're coming from. Go ahead,
No,
Shah.
I empathize with the, and that's the least I can do. That's a word in English, empathize. It's horrific what's happening to the people there. But I do understand that there are also not just Christians that are dying, there are also Muslims that are dying too. And I think that if we put that into the equation, we can get a better understanding of why it's happening. Why is it the USAID funding these people's guns? These people don't, where to get the guns from? You know where to get the guns. So you have to ask the question, what's the intent on killing the people? If you don't ask that question, then you're not going to get to a bigger, picture of why it's happening. So for me, I quickly understand that, okay, This is connected to the terrorism that's going on in Burkina Faso, in Niger, and in Mali. It is not disconnected. It is very connected. And if you look at it, if you only look at it from a place of being in Nigeria and that it is a Nigerian problem, that means that you want to see it in a fragmented way. And that and I think Nigerians, and I have to say this, tend to think only nationally a lot of times. They don't think continentally. Because my thing is that Nigeria should be uniting with the AES for security reasons and not allowing the United States to come in, because if the United States and Europe, parts of Europe, are financing these terrorists, which they are, and I found this out in the last couple of days when I saw this Senate hearing where one of the senators or whatever they were was talking about USAID that is no longer functioning. Donald Trump closed that office. Was funding these terrorists, Boko Haram and other. I'm like, what? This is actually coming out of this white man's mouth in an official state building. And I knew I had heard about it, but I'm hearing them say this shit about it. So now we understand that there's a reason for this. And the reason for this is being stepped up, I believe, is because of several reasons. One is the China and the deal that's going on with China, getting this lithium deal, and it's huge, it's really big. And it is because of Aliko Dangote and the success that he has, and it's turning Nigeria's economy around little, but it's that part of it too, because the Western world has to keep Nigeria in check, because Nigeria cannot prosper. And this is what they did with Ajakuta Steel in 1978 when the Russians put $1 billion into that company and got it 90% finished. 1983-84 was supposed to open, and it's 90% finished, and it never opened. Then we later, 20 years later, I don't know how many years later, the Panama Papers came out and started naming the Nigerian officials who was in bed with the Bushes and Cheney's with Halliburton company that makes tanks and shit and bombs. They're naming these people that were involved in the scam with Jakuta.
So can I ask a quick question? Sorry.
Sure, you can stop me and ask a quick question. Go ahead.
So the question is, if what you're saying is true, that the West or United States has a hand in the problem, and now the US government led by Trump wants to come and solve the problem allegedly that they started, why do you have a problem with that?
They're not going to solve the problem. They're going to do what they do when they go into all. Look at the history of them going into countries and the outcome of them going into countries to solve the problem. They never solve the problem. It gets fucking worse. Every time they go into a country, you can look at the history. From Vietnam to Iraq to Iran to every goddamn Syria.
I hear you. We argue that Trump is different. He's not Obama. He's not Biden. And again, Sizwe, please respond to Shah. Shah can always, you guys can have it back and forth.
All that. How, I don't, this does not fucking compute to me. Somebody that calls Africa shithole countries. Shithole countries. He calls y'all shithole countries. And you're talking about, he's different.
Please.
What's going on here?
Okay, guys. Thank you very much, Stephen. I want you guys to also understand something, right? Like this chat I just spoke, you see that it has an exact template of the guys we are dealing with. Everything these other Islamic guys talk as a defense is exactly what he's saying. So don't be bamboozled by the accent or something. You understand? Like I said, that terrorism is a global network. You understand? It's not. It doesn't just involve people that are on ground and those 30 soldiers that goes to do the manslaughter. It's interconnected. Because when you listen to this chat speak, you ask yourself, like, he's saying just exactly like how a Fulani would respond. You know, and there's another thing you guys need to understand. The liberals in the United States are in bed in cohort with Islamists. Have anyone asked that? Okay, the USAID that you're talking about, the USAID is out of, you know, their lack of intelligence. You know, an average American citizen, especially younger age one, the ones that do this LGBT, that are more concerned with LGBT, climate change, and whatnot. They are the liberals, the Democrats, and they work hand in hand with Islamic terrorism. That was why when Obama was there, when all this Biden, even the when was Trump first time, he put this designate. He designated Nigeria as a state of particular concern, country of particular concern. When he left, the Democrats, which are the main sponsors of this terrorism, they removed it. You understand? And again, let me tell you, an Islamic jihadist, an Islamic extremist will never vote for conservative. They will never like Trump. That's why when you see them come up on stages, they try to come up with all these excuses. You know why? Because conservatives are more direct. They are no nonsense people. They don't tolerate bullshit. But these liberals, they imagine and they think they don't like conservative because of Christianity. These are demons. They don't like Christianity. But conservatives are more gravitate towards Christianity, Holy Bible, Jesus. But to an average liberal, with all these younger ones, they think Christianity is against them because they say Christianity is against abortion, Christianity is against homosexuality, So it's not to them about this wokeism. And they feel because Democrats, like they feel that Democrats allows that. Again, what they don't know is that the average Islamist extremist doesn't even want that. But they will always, just like Al Qaeda does to grab power, they will always, work with the Democrats until they get to power. Like what is happening in New York City now. Then there are two types of terrorism, like I always say. We have the ISIS kind of terrorism, like those ones that that goes to slaughter, they want to kill and destroy immediately, like what we are experiencing in Nigeria. Or we have the Al Qaeda kind of terrorism that you know they gently you know they use these people, this wokeism, these people to get close to power, like these Islamists that they just voted New York. They will continue to expand gradually until they now get hold of the real power. Then they begin to now remind them that they will slaughter anybody doing caught on homosexualism. Immediately, they will slaughter the no Muslim, no Islam will want to remove or abort a child, an Islamic child, but they are ready to play to the gallery. So if you see all these woke people that doesn't understand anything, they don't know nothing. They always feel uh, uh, Libra is in support of them, and woke people will always align with Islamic extremists
May I land?
until
May I
extremists
land? I'm
grab
going to
power.
leave you guys
So
because
that
I
is
see
just
this
what
is
is right now.
so a revolution is having the heart to put your life on the line and to organize your people so that your generations to come will have a different Nigeria. If you think the United States is going to destroy Nigeria and reset the country so that it will, move things around, you're in for a rude awakening because we've been saying
Sir,
for the last 3 years
the United
that
States is
that they
not
are
destroying Nigeria.
recolonizing they are recolonizing Africa, and that's what United States is affirming and and sending a message to all of Africa and the world that we can just go in your country and run roughshod on your country. So I'm gonna
Okay,
land right there
this is
because
Steve.
y'all
Like,
got more
why
shit
are we
to deal with and
why are
learn.
we
Thank
letting the
you.
man take
Bye.
like since when is the United States like when have they said they're coming into the country to this? Like, where is all that stuff coming from? Because I don't understand where
He
you're
made it a
getting
Those are
country
this
of
just
from.
Trump
concern.
haters. They are Trump
He
Right?
made it.
haters. They
He
will
made
do
it a country of
everything.
concern. It may not.
Is
It may
it
not
that
end
is
bad.
US
Ideology.
problem with killing Christians? Because if you don't, well, I'm gonna come and take care of it. Terrorists. Those are the people
No,
we're talking about. How does
right.
that
No, no,
translate
no.
to coming to destroy Nigeria, invading? How is
Right.
that an invasion?
Because they are
Please, someone help me.
recolonizing
Nelson,
Africa.
NCAT
Right.
government, is anybody there?
Yes, can I ask a question, please, for this brother? Can I make a brief comment?
Can you guys hear me?
Did you hear the statement that Eric Prince said, the head of Blackwater?
Yes,
They
yes.
changed the
Let
name to
me say
mercenary
brief.
group. Did you hear what he
Anybody hear
said?
me?
He made a statement. No, we
Can
hear
I
you.
make a
We
brief
hear you.
comment, please?
Eric Prince, the head of Blackwater Mercenary Group, one of the largest and most well-equipped and advanced, said on a live interview that the African leaders are corrupt and they can't govern their own countries, and we need to go and recolonize it. This is what white folks are saying about Africa.
Let me respond.
Y'all
Absolutely.
y'all are
We
for
are
a rude
talking about
awakening.
human life. This guy is talking about.
That statement got absolutely nothing to do
Some
with
of you
Nigerian
black and
situation.
some of you Americans are
Can I
so
please
dumb.
respond to this guy adequately? That statement got absolutely nothing to do with Nigeria's situation. And it is so unfortunate that you believe in conspiracy theory. And we know that people that believe in conspiracy theory, it is because of their lack of education that pushed them to really believe in, the conspiracy. Everything that you're saying, it just don't make sense. It don't connect to what we're discussing, talking about USA IDs, like supporting terrorism, talking about, people sponsoring enhancements, American. It's not true. It's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
And where are
you
they
come
getting the money
here,
from?
you
Where
come here,
are they
okay,
getting the
stop,
guns
okay,
from?
stop. Hold on. Let me tell you. Stop. You come here with people that have masters and PhDs, people that are well educated. You come here to work
Mixed
provide
educated. Go ahead.
No, wait, stop. You come here to provide misinformation and disinformation as if you are talking to kids that are in elementary school. It's unfortunate. We have some of the best universities in the world in Africa, and we are well educated and we know what is happening. So, so that whole conspiracy, it just fit in your community. It's for where you're coming from and not for here. Here we are highly educated people and we know what we're talking about. Okay?
Well,
So
the
if you
United
want,
States is threatening to come into your country. That's real.
okay,
And
okay. Now,
we would
so
never have
back to
known
that
this to be
issue.
happening.
Back to that United States issue. The United States is not threatening to come into Nigeria and destroy anything. The first thing is that you have to read the news. You have to find out what is coming or what is happening before coming here, or at least mark your ignorance. You should be able to read the news and follow the news. The United States is clear as to what they are saying. They have said this not to Nigeria alone, but to everyone else around the world, where minority groups are facing persecution. The United States and the Western world, they have always said that, hey, you have to fix this problem, otherwise we're going to help you fix it. And it is not a wrong thing. Of course, if you look at the
It
data
doesn't make
coming from
sense,
Nigeria,
Stanley.
okay,
They don't
yes,
have a moral stance like that. Donald Trump is
slow
not even a
down,
Christian. He's not
slow
even a
down,
Christian.
slow down.
It don't
Slow
make
down.
sense. It's
Slow
far,
down.
far away
Slow
from making
down.
sense.
Slow
They
down.
don't have
Slow
a
down.
moral.
Slow
They
down.
don't
Slow
have
down.
the moral
But you have the moral clarity.
Okay,
authority to go into countries. It doesn't make sense.
Slow down.
They haven't been doing that.
Can you guys hear me? Please tell me you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you. I wanted to make a comment real quick.
Please go for it.
Okay, so here's the thing. So Biden, during Biden's administration, we had an opportunity to elect a good Nigerian leader that will be able to create a prosperous Nigeria, not only prosperous Nigeria, but prosperous Africa. But you know what Biden did? This criminal leader that they were trying to elect in Nigeria had drug files, FBI files in the United States when he was in Chicago. He had lots and lots of evidence that this guy was a drug dealer, was involved in proceeds from drug dealing. And
we had opportunity to actually let Nigerians see these files before we elected our leader, before the election held. This guy, as a drug dealer, also had falsified the certificate that he went to Lagos State University. So this false certificate and the drug files were supposed to be made available to Nigerians before they went for an election, so that they can know who they elected as leader. But guess what? Biden actually asked that those files not be released, not be made public. Despite petitions, Nigerians petition, we sent letters to the Department of Justice, we sent letters to the university. We did everything we can just to release this file so that we can know who this person is, what kind of baggage they have besides. Because sure, Nigeria says that if it's proven that somebody submitted false certificate or that person was involved in illegal criminal activity, the person automatically disqualifies from becoming the president. But because Biden knew this, Biden said he wasn't going to release those files. And that's the reason why we have a criminal as president right now as we speak. Now, Trump took over and Trump said, you know what? This is atrocious. He's going to try to fix everything, all the horrible things and all the craziness that was happened prior to the election of this criminal in Nigeria.
And he's been indicted for 37 counts of crime. He's a criminal.
Let me finish.
Donald Trump is a criminal.
Let me finish. So now we have a situation where Donald Trump took office, whether he's indicted 34 counts or 37 counts or whatever, he's now saying this criminal that was elected because of Biden's failure to release this paperwork or this criminal file of this guy that is now playing the role of a president in Nigeria despite his criminal baggage. And Trump said, okay, you know what? This guy is actually sponsoring the killing of Christians in Nigeria. And this sponsor of killing of Christians in Nigeria is using the worst of the worst terrorists in the whole wide world and sponsoring them to actually build capacity where they can potentially come into the United States and kill Americans. And you can blame Trump all you want, but I know that one thing Trump would hate to do is to have terrorists come in and kill Americans, whites, especially white Americans, in American soil. And this is what the terrorists want to do.
White Americans, please don't say that. That's retarded.
Well, no. I mean, he's going to kill Americans, but I'm talking about just like he did, just like Trump talked about, with South Africa, the people were killing white. I mean, Trump wants to protect American homeland. If you can fault Trump in everything, you can't blame him. His guy is gone go about protecting American homeland and protecting American lives. So if someone said, okay, you know what? Yeah, the court convicted, said, he was some counts, whatever. But he now said, you know what? I'm more interested in protecting American lives because as it's going, the so-called criminal in Nigeria is actually funding the terrorists that is fixing to come into the United States and slaughter hundreds of thousands of Americans. And you're sitting here and you say, no, please, Trump, don't go and stop those terrorists from building capacity to come and slaughter American lives. Just let them have the capacity so that they can come in here and go through all these things and slaughter Americans and launch nuclear bombs and launch chemical bombs and launch, the dirty bombs and slaughter hundreds of thousands of Americans. And Trump wants to stop that. And you say Trump is wrong for trying to stop that. What in the world are you talking about?
Because this guy aligns politically with the people that are behaving this way, both here in Africa and the Middle East. That's why he's arguing with you.
Yeah, I saw the liberals.
Can I please make a comment? Can I please make a
Can I ask Henry, why is it that the liberals in America always align with these Islamists around the world? Have you
Let me ask it better. Let me ask it better. Why is it that these liberals? Why is it that these liberals?
Miserable group around the world. The one gentleman said it before. They don't gravitate towards principle or towards value. They don't gravitate towards honor or truth. There's no group that has the monopoly on righteousness, of course. But this is a very naturally corruptible group of people by their lack of principle.
But why are they? Why
No,
are
can
they?
I
Why
please
are
make
they?
a
Why are
submission?
they in support? Why are they always in support of policies and programs that are trying to kill Americans? That is what I
Well,
don't
they
understand.
they have there's a lot of self-loathing that goes on in different groups, but the thing that I always tell you, man, is Democrats, the only thing they hate more than democracy are blacks and Jews. That's one of the reasons why. So they're salivating at the prospect of death, wherever it is, but especially if it's a Jew dying or if it's a black person dying. They love it.
Can I please make my submission quick? Just to comment on, like the topic. Now, this thing happening in Nigeria did not start with Tinubu. This has been going on long before Tinubu into the presidency. Now, so we have to put this into context. Like the Boko Haram operating in Nigeria, the one operating in Mali, Burkina Faso, Hamas, Hezbollah, and they were RFS. They all have one, like one goal. They want a society where there's no tolerance. Women are treated like slaves. Minority are given a startling choice. You either convert to Islam or you die. And this has been happening in Nigeria for all time. Unfortunately, during the independence of Nigeria, the British did not understand the whole composition of that country. Before Nigeria got independence, we have the Northerners. They were living according to their Sharia law in the Wat Sokoto time, and they were beheading each other. Now, the British took them and forced them into one country with the Igbos who are from the south and they are Christians, and then with the Yorubas. Now, this in itself fundamentally is a problem. And then the white Islamic realized that they forced themselves into the military. I work in Nigeria for the International Crisis Group and for other groups monitoring the security situation in the country. I was there during the time of Umaru Yaradua. Now, if you look at the Nigerian military, the composition of the Nigerian military, all of the senior commanders are all Muslims. All of the senior commanders. And now they have a plan like the what Islamize Nigeria. And not only Nigeria alone, it is the entire West Africa. Look at Mali, Bamako. The one Al Qaeda link group has seized the capital. Similar thing going on in Burkina Faso. I'm from Liberia. They are threatening Liberia every day. But we say to them now, what military Islam have, Liberia will find because we will fight against them in Mali because our armed forces is there. We will fight against them wherever, whenever, and however. Unfortunately, in the case of Nigeria, the white Christians are the more victim because the white armed forces of Nigeria is just composed of, like more Muslims who are sympathizers to the terrorists. And so people have seen the Nigerian military. Nobody told me. I didn't read it in the newspaper. I saw the data myself. People have caught the Nigerian military selling arms and ammunition to Boko Haram and to other Islamic groups. This is why it is unfortunate that this brother who have an African American accent coming into this space, making a huge amount of ignorance, is an insult to us. We know what we're talking about. People have seen the Nigerian military selling arms and ammunition to these people. People have seen senior people within the Nigerian government providing financial support to these people. People know that Lukurara, all of these groups are coming from North Africa. They have been sponsored, by the Arabs. Look at what is happening in Sudan. UAE is one sponsoring the rapid support unit that is making most of the crime in Sudan. So we know who's sponsoring these people. This is why Israel has always said that Benjamin Netanyahu said is, I remember 2019 at the UN. He said that Israel is forced to fight Islamic extremists, that the world will be forced to fight tomorrow. And this is why Israel is stopping Iran, having equal weapon because Netanyahu is aware that Iran is one of the sponsors of global terrorists. Iran has been sponsoring Al-Shabaab in Somalia. There has been sponsoring many different groups. Many different groups. People have seen Iranian agents training different terror cells, not only in the Middle East alone, not only in Israel alone. Iran has armed Hezbollah in Lebanon. They have armed Hamas. And just last year, Iran launched rocket into Saudi Arabia, killing their fellow Muslims. So, of course, because they all do believe that Islam is the one superior faith, and that all other faiths are lesser than them. Of course, I mean, they do kill each other because they disagree among themselves. And then let me tell you what they disagree about. They want disagree as to who to become the master of the master faith. So they kill each other first before coming to kill other minority groups. So for me, I mean, my opinion about the Nigerian situation, if the United States government can help the Nigerians to separate our country and have a peaceful stuff, working lives just as it happened in the former Yugoslavia, so that the terrorists can remain in the north and carry on their Sharia laws and be able to hear and amputate each other. That would be good for them. This is what they want because this is what they believe in. There are over 1,100 voices in the Quran. I read the Quran. They talk about violence. I mean, I talk about how to kill the infidels. It gives specific example of how to behead the infidels. And so Tinubu, Buhari, all of the past Nigerian presidents are Muslim. They do believe, they do, I mean, they know what is happening. They know what is happening. They do, they do want the entire Nigeria to become, like an Islamic state wherein they can implement Sharia laws. And then that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. So to that brother who's coming here to spew lies, conspiracy, and then tell fairy tales, I mean, you have to go back to school because we know what we're talking about. I mean, we know what we're talking about. We know President Trump and the Republican Party, they are on record for standing against these things, for standing against these things. And it's the Democrats who believe that they are campaigning for social justice. They are the one who, I mean, that they are the savior of the human race. And guess what? The very Muslim that the Democrats advocate for, they hate the Democrats because they hate gays in Iran. This is why people were saying, oh, gay for Israel. I mean, they're gay for Palestine. They have no idea as to what gays are treated like Palestine. Saying gay for Palestine is the chicken for KFC. Is the same chicken for KFC. So let them think again. Let them think again. This is what we say to the Western Democrats. Hey, you don't know these people. You don't know their agenda. They have a global ambition to enslave the entire world. And until you people can think again, this is what's going to happen. So thank you very much, and for allowing me to speak.
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, just to add to what you said, Nigeria was on the way, on the path to becoming one of the most prosperous economy across the globe in the Goodluck Jonathan era. Nigeria had the potential, and it was about to explode and create a wave of progress and prosperity across Africa. But guess what? The liberals now had to step on that shit. The liberals had to now bring in a terrorist, Fulani, and force that terrorist Fulani to become Nigeria's head of state. And that guy crashed that economy and destroyed the dreams of millions and billions of Africans potentially of seeing a prosperous Africa or seeing a prosperous Nigeria. They did it in Libya when you had Muammar Gaddafi was looking to be one of the most prosperous African countries. But you know what? Liberals now in the US say, no, we can't let these people. We have to crush that ambition. We have to destroy and kill that leader. And they kill Muammar Gaddafi. Now, Trump has said, okay, you know what? We're sick and tired of these liberals trying to destroy Africa. We're sick and tired of liberals trying to build all these terrorist networks that just want to hurt and kill Americans. And we're going to stop that right on the street. And now, all these guys want to come to and say, oh, we should not let Trump do that. We should let liberals do what they do. Liberals, have you forgotten liberals actually put Buhari on top of Nigerians?
You're going to lose a lot of money, man, if they start solving these problems. There's a lot of these NGOs. There's a lot of you guys talked about USAID earlier. The flow of money that gets laundered for all these different groups and into the hands of bad actors around the world is incredible.
And we can't let that happen. So and now you have a situation whereby these guys are not just these terrorists are not just satisfied by just taking a few lands in Nigeria, taking a few ancestral lands. They want to convert the entire Africa, the largest black population country, the largest black population in the world. They want to turn it into Sharia. They want to turn it into Sharia, so that everybody will be marrying 6-year-old kids, 3-year-old kids.
And do you know, bro? Do you know that this Libra, their stupidity, they always think like Africa is the destination of this terrorism, like Nigeria is the destination of this terrorism. No, all they want, all these terrorists are looking for is a breeding ground, like a location, like um a home where they can be comfortable enough to come for America. America is the target at the end of the day. Anybody that knows what we're talking about, that understand, knows that America is the target. They need the resources of Nigeria. They need the location. They need to be strategically placed in the most populous nation of the world. They will get the kind of population, they can be able to build enough terrorists that will terrorize the world from Nigeria, from core northern Nigeria. And there are so much, mineral resources they also need to sponsor their terrorism. So you dumb American guy that will come here, forming woke and liberalism, you don't even know what is out for you. These guys, they can wait 50 years, they can plan for 100 years, but at the end, you're going to pay the price. So if you like, keep supporting rubbish, just keep doing this whole woke shit. Then allow Trump to come to America. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you even know what we are talking about? Have you been to the north? Do you see babies being slaughtered? You think you are safe because you are in America, right? It's only gonna take time and years. Continue to support rubbish. Nonsense.
The names of this guy, if you don't know, Boko Haram means Western education is forbidden. They already told you they hate America. They already told you they hate your ass. And they're facing to come and kill you.
And the
Oh
reason
my
why they hate
goodness.
America, because they know that the United States is the last strongest Western democracy remaining. It's the last. And let me tell you, I mean, the Arabs were the first to take black people as slaves. And there is no, if you look at the Arabian Peninsula, black people are not there today. Do you know what they did? They castrated all of the black that they carry in the Islam war so that they cannot procreate with the, with the Muslim women. All of the black male, they were castrated. Now, today people are talking about, let us look at Liberia. The what Democratic Party itself in my country, I was there, they have paid millions of
Stanley,
dollars,
please take one
right?
minute. I'd like to move the mic. Please take 1 minute and just round up. I'll move the mic real quick.
Yeah,
So many requests.
okay, thank you very much. I mean, just to round up, we Africans, I mean, we need to be careful as to which political philosophy that we want to gravitate ourselves to. We need to know our history, and then we need to know how to align ourselves, Sonny. Even the what Democratic Party in the United States that stands for so-called human rights and blah, blah, blah. This thing has been happening in Nigeria. They have never spoken against it. They have never spoken against it. They have carried on open border and live in Canada. They have allowed over 4 million Muslims. Even in my country, Liberia, they have forced us to open our border. Now we have almost, a million Muslims coming for jihadi hotspot. Burkina Faso, Mali, when you go to Liberia, they all there destroy our forests because of the pressure from the Democratic Party. So we have to be careful as to which, political ideas that we want to look up to. Otherwise, we will wake up one day and we'll all become slaves to these people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stanley. Thank you, Sizwe. Thank you, and bad governance. You guys keep bringing us back to perspectives, because I don't understand how anybody comes up here and wants to make it seem like, oh, it's not an Islam thing. It's not. Fine, it's not, but it's about the things that are happening
No, no,
by
we
the
can't
hands of
relent on this point. Yeah, we can't relent on it. It is
exactly
Islam, and it's not Islamism. It is just default Islam. It is a
100%.
behavior within Islam to kill each other, to kill others, to conquer. It's part of the ideology.
It just is what it is, and it doesn't matter how like your political whatever labels you think you can form some unholy alliance because you hate Trump and whatever. Big deal, good for you. Just for the purpose of this discussion, keep it in your pocket. Like nobody cares right now in this particular space, okay? Because we do have people who are dying at the hands of people who come into their homes and scream Allahu Akbar before they behead them. Okay, thank you. I'll move on to Justice. Oh, Mr. P, sorry, Justice, you just showed up. Mr. P, Osas, if you're there, you can go for it. Steven and Nelson, I don't know. I feel like I'm drowning out here. I'm not able to pull up people. I don't know what's going on with the request, but it's blowing up. Thank you so much. Osas, Mr. P, you can go. Sorry. Mr. P, he's not there. If he's not there, Blue, you can go.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for your patience. Thank you for handling such ignorance. And I don't even have words for some of the things that was said on the stage. I apologize for these individuals that spoke. They do not represent every Black person in the United States. They represent ignorance. And for somebody to actually come up on the stage when people are actually dying every second as we're speaking, there are friends that are lost every second, getting a notification that a friend was just killed over there. And to say that regardless of what our stands are here in the States and whatever the heck is going on with our government, is still privileged, heavily privileged. Just like someone said, last time I checked, you guys can dial 911. Yes, my people as a whole, yeah, we're targeted, but in no way, shape, or form in the same way. It cannot be compared in the same way. And if there is any type of relief, even from Trump, if evil is providing any type of relief, let him provide it. How do we help? It's very unfortunate to hear some of these comments, and for that individual to speak as though they're watching CNN and Fox. So it's like that is your source of information for you to be able to speak about people who are experiencing can't walk to the store. I have friends that I am literally praying for right now, and we work together. And they have to deal with this every day. They have to deal with foolishness just from working with me, and I feel terrible of what they are experiencing just as what they're seeing their country go through. And like another gentleman said, that very educated people, some of the best universities in the world. And like I say all the time,